So if you're watching this video right now, it's probably because you have some interest in living in the Heights here in Houston, Texas, which, you know, I'm a little biased, but I'd say is my favorite neighborhood in the entire city. There are a lot of different reasons why. I'm gonna be taking you around the neighborhood and showing you some of my favorite things that just make this a thriving community, very family friendly, and just an all around cool, vibey place to grab a cocktail. Take a look over here real fast. You see this live oak right here? This live oak is so prominent in this neighborhood, and we're about to walk down a street over here that's literally lined with live oak. It's a very dreamy street here. I've wanted to live on that street so long, but supply isn't typically super high over there, but that's okay because there's so many pockets in the Heights that are worth living in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rob Abasolo. I'm part of your local real estate team here in Houston, Texas, specializing in the Heights and surrounding areas. So if you're looking for someone to help you get into your dream home, I'll leave my contact information down below and I'll get you connected with someone on my team so that we can get you into that perfect house. All right, let's go. Take a look at this house over here. Very, very nice. I mean, obviously it's got the live oaks. It's got three. Very enchanting. I feel like that could be a house in a movie set. But we got a modern farmhouse right behind me. That's something that's very relevant here in the Heights. And honestly, perhaps the best version of a townhouse that you're gonna see in Houston, specifically because Houston has so many farmhouses, but you just don't ever see modern farmhouses like this with the new beautiful silver standing seam roofs, all white, big, modern, the modernization of a farmhouse, which I always think is really nice to see in a neighborhood like this because it shows that it's just being revitalized more and more every single day. All right, let's go check out that street I was telling you about. All right, I probably don't have a lot of time, but just take a look behind me. I don't feel like I oversold how amazing this street is. So one of my favorite things though about this street specifically is the different types of architecture that you're gonna see. We're about to hop in the car and just take a nice little drive down here. We're on Bayland Avenue. But as you can see behind me, there are so many different types of houses here. And honestly, this is probably my favorite part about the Heights specifically, is that when you drive around Houston, when you drive around all the different suburbs, there are so many cookie cutter homes, which isn't a bad thing if you want to be in a neighborhood that's a little bit more uniform. But if you want something that's a little bit more character driven, a little bit older, that has that old school architecture element to it, you're gonna find that in the Heights. And for me, the thing that I love about this neighborhood is that there are no copies of houses. Literally every single house on this neighborhood is a completely original design because back in the day, everyone worked with different architects and they customized their own home. So everything you see here is the design and vision of hundreds and hundreds of architects that poured into this community back when it was being created. All right, so we're pulling up on Bayland right over here. And as you can see, look at these live oaks. This is absolutely, without a doubt, the most beautiful street that you're gonna find in Houston, Texas, and the architecture actually matches it pretty well too. We got obviously nice representation of America flags, very homey, very all-American, I'd say. Okay, so just driving here, looking at the different architecture, you're gonna see nothing but craftsmen, you'll see bungalows, you'll see some beautiful brick cuties, as I like to call them, you'll see farmhouses, and you'll even see modern farmhouses here and there. This is something you're gonna see very often here as well. And like I said, there are no two that look like this. There's not another house in the neighborhood that looks like this. There might be some similar homes, but this has its own original feel to it, and that's what I really love about it. This is a fun surprise. We are driving by my favorite house in the Heights. So it's actually pretty rare to see a mid-century modern house like this. This is obviously a newer construction, but you do see them pop up every so often. I'm actually working on a mid-century modern house about 5 minutes away from here for myself and my family, but this right here is goals. This house is absolutely amazing. It's so stunning, it's two parts. It's got the butterfly roof line. Again, not super common here in the Heights, but I do love to see it every so often just because I do like it's like a melting pot of architecture styles. And again, in a lot of the cities that I've lived in, you just don't really see so much diversification of architecture the way you do here in the Heights. So basically, if you've been thinking about moving here, do it because it legitimately is awesome and the school system here is absolutely amazing. The two elementary schools here are some of the top rated here in the city, and if you're a parent, you'll probably appreciate this. There are speed bumps everywhere in the Heights, so there aren't maniacs speeding in the middle of the road. We live in a lot of neighborhoods, they've never had speed bumps and people just go down our roads like 50, 60 miles an hour. It's so frustrating. Not something you're gonna really see here either. It is annoying when you drive a low car like mine though, but a good annoying. I'm glad to have it. It's a net positive, all right? So we're on Studwood and 11th, and there are so many restaurants here from Bella Green. There's a sushi place, ramen place, Mexican cantina, all within a 1-minute walk. So this is my favorite spot in the Heights, but I don't like to talk about it too much because I don't want to make it too popular. So this is actually part of the neighborhood that I'm in probably 3 or 4 times a week. We're off of 7th and Heights right now. Kind of a busy road here, but I'm gonna show you if you're a family and you're looking for a place to live here in the Heights, why the Heights is the best neighborhood in the city. Take a look at this park over here. So this park is huge, man. I mean, it's its own architectural anomaly as far as parks are concerned. It's completely built out here. They're like these little wood fortresses, and then there's like this awesome custom train right here. We're actually at Donovan Park, one of my favorite parks, not just in the Heights, but in Houston, Texas. And you're about to see why. This whole playground right behind me, slides. Promise you, just bring your kids here. Come hang out, come test out the Heights for like a week, rent an Airbnb. That's what we did. And then we came to this park and we're like, okay, this is the neighborhood that we're moving to. So before I moved to Houston, I was living in California and Tennessee, and I've moved around the country a lot. I'm from Houston, but much closer to Spring, so I wasn't super familiar with the Heights when I moved here about 7 months ago. But about 10 to 12 months ago, we really decided we wanted to move back to Houston to be closer to family. And we knew that the Heights was something that we were gonna be interested in. So we actually booked an Airbnb for a week, just so that we could feel like locals in this neighborhood. And I'm really glad we did, because most of what I know and love about the Heights and my general perception of the Heights came from that 1 week of staying here and living as those in the Heights do, which is going to the parks with your kids and eating all the local foods that the neighborhood has to offer. Speaking of local foods, there actually is a place called Local Foods over here. Let's check it out. So I actually love that there's a bike trail and a walking trail. I've actually done many runs on this trail when it was 100 degrees. Fortunately, no matter what neighborhood you live in, you still live in Houston and it's still freaking hot. And you'll still get run over if you're in the middle of the street. So typical societal and geographic temperature laws still apply. This trail really goes on for miles and miles and miles. So if you're a biker or if you're a runner, really you have not infinite, but a very long trail. I don't think you're ever gonna run out of trail to bike on or walk on or power walk on or jazzercise on or whatever it is you do. Okay, so over here, there's a Lululemon. I probably spent too much money in that place, I'll be honest. There's a Mélange Claperie. I don't speak French, it's a little off. But actually one of my favorite restaurants in the Heights is Local Foods here. Their salads are amazing, their sandwiches are amazing. If you like Mendocino Farms, this is kind of like the local version of that. And then we got Chubby's, which is actually my nickname back in high school, and a Warby Parker and a Marine Layer back here. So right over here, you can get like 70% of your shopping done. All right, here's Local Foods. I'm getting hungry, we're gonna grab a bite to eat, but as you can see, really, really cool part of town out here. So this is a very, very brief overview of what makes the Heights one of my favorite neighborhoods. I mean, obviously in a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-minute video, I can't really show you what the Heights has to offer, but here's the good news. I'm gonna be making a lot of content about my favorite things about this neighborhood and some of the surrounding areas that makes Houston special. I think Houston is one of those very, very underrated cities that people just don't appreciate. And you know, when you're out recording content in 100-degree weather, I kind of understand. But when you actually live here and you can meet the people and get a little bit of that Southern hospitality, some of that new flair, some of those awesome restaurants, great eats, local shops, I really mean it when I say that this is my dream neighborhood. I'm very thankful to live here, and we're very thankful to help put people in their dream homes in this neighborhood because yeah, this place, it's freaking awesome. Remember, if you want any help finding a house in this neighborhood or anywhere in Houston, we do that for people all over the country. So I'll leave my information down in the description below. Please reach out and we're gonna get you connected with someone on my team that's gonna get you into your next home or get your home sold. All right, see you on the next video.